This will probably be considered my most political video of all time, even though I would argue that this is not political whatsoever. I'm not going to be, I would say, espousing many political beliefs in this video or anything crazy. I just think that more people in the United States right now need to make points like this, need to speak like this, and need to talk to other people like this. I don't know about the political climates and landscapes of many other countries. I try to keep up with world news as much as possible, but the media is hard to trust a lot of the time, and that sucks to say, and that's going to be part of what I'm talking about in this video. But it's been a hard year for the whole world. I can't say that the United States has been, the only country on earth that's been plagued by anything disastrous this year. There was the explosion in Lebanon. Coronavirus has been a huge problem for the entire planet. But it has been also been, it's been pretty rough here in the United States, to say the least. I mean, I haven't scripted this video out or anything. I usually don't script out videos, but this one is just coming straight from me. So the year's been pretty tough, man. Every issue, it seems like, has kind of culminated into a big battle between people. Wearing a mask has become like an issue. We've never really worried about that very much in the past. Police brutality is back in the forefront once again. We're having political elections, the presidential election and everything later this year, so of course that's on everyone's mind because people are afraid, if Donald Trump gets reelected, the world's going to end. Then people on the other side are afraid that if Joe Biden gets elected, that America's going to finally succumb to the pressure and just fall apart. And the truth is like most people, I really don't know what's going to happen in the future, and I can't say that I know that, oh my god, Donald Trump getting reelected will be the end of America, or Joe Biden, or Joe Jorgensen, any of them. But I think a lot of people fail to take into consideration that a lot of the problems of this country have been magnified simply because of the presidential election, because every issue has now become a political debate, which is absolutely mind-boggling to me that we've gotten to a point that people can't have rational discussions about problems and it doesn't become political. Like I said, wearing a mask has become political in this country. I don't even know how that is necessarily possible. At least I would have never thought so beforehand, but the media, political organizations, and to a certain extent health organizations have turned it into a fucking political debate on whether or not wearing a mask is effective at reducing transmissions of COVID. And it's insane that we as people in this country can't talk about fucking problems that we have without it becoming political. The truth is, most people in the country, they truly do border somewhere in between when it comes to the political sphere and everything. Most people aren't inherently Democrat or inherently Republican. They just vote along party lines. And that alone is one of the worst things this country has ever suffered from. I mean, the idea that people legitimately only vote for people based on what letter comes after their name when it's read on a screen, what color they represent, is fucking abysmal. The whole country was founded on the principle that everyone has different ideas and that they can be espoused at any time, yet people refuse to give the light of day to anyone who says anything different than the two major parties in this country. And then we all bitch and complain about it. I don't get it. I mean, you look at countries in Europe, right? And there's sometimes 6 or 7 political parties that at least can compete in there. We don't have anything like that here because too many of you are focused on the fucking concept that only Republicans or Democrats can be right. When that's, as logic goes, is inherently flawed. No one can be right all the time. I can't be right all the time. You can't be right all. It's not possible. But we, as a society, and I know that's going to get memed, have gotten to the point where that's the only two fucking things that we focus on. The sad truth is, this year, a lot of people don't like the two major political candidates. A lot of people don't like Donald Trump or Joe Biden. But you know what they're going to do? They're either going to vote for one of the two people they don't like, or they're just not going to vote at all. And so we're stuck in this bipartisan issue that we face every single fucking year. Every single election year, every time something major comes up, we're stuck in this same cycle. The sad truth is, the Libertarians don't have any chance of winning the election. The Green Party, they don't have a chance. People running independent, they don't have a chance. Any of the other, minor political parties out there, they don't have a chance of winning an election. The closest that anyone has come in recent memory that I can think of is Kanye West. And he has pretty much no shot of winning the election, and he's running as a member of the birthday party? That's what we've come to as a country, where a member of the quote-unquote birthday party is the closest candidate to actually winning a major election pretty much since Republicans and Democrats even have existed. That's pretty sad. So these two political lines have become almost stamps of identity to virtually everyone in the country. And you can now consume mass media based on those political lines and be told by either side that the other person on the other side is your enemy, that they're the person trying to ruin America, that they're the person trying to take everything from you. You watch right-wing media and they tell you that all Democrats want to do is they want to take your money from you because they're lazy and ineffective, and they hate you because you have money and you have things. And then you take a look at left-wing media, and anyone who believes in anything on the right is racist, and they hate you, and they want you to die. And it's so divisive, and it's so fucking horrible that this country has succumbed to this, like, media pressure to fight one another, that you literally see in the streets now, people with different ideologies murdering one another, killing people. What the fuck have we become as a country? I mean, what has happened? I mean, you can't look at America's history and pretend that this is a perfect country, that we've never done anything wrong, that nothing bad has ever happened, that groups of people haven't been stigmatized and haven't been treated as subhuman. But you also can't look at modern society and believe that everyone wants to go back to that way or wants to keep things that way. As a society, we've almost regressed to this point where everyone is guilty until proven innocent in anything. And it's gotten to this point where you're viewed as an enemy of people simply for disagreeing on one small fucking thing. And a lot of it comes back to the media because, once again, you turn on the television, right, to see the news, okay? And the only thing that you'll see from most of the mainstream media is literally whatever political propaganda that they want to push out to people. I want to show you guys a clip really quick. A lot of you may have seen this, but I think that this proves a pretty big fucking point. What you just saw is one of the biggest media and broadcasting companies in the world, not even just in the United States, in the world, pushing out the same script to dozens of media and news stations across the country. The problem with America, I think, is we have a problematic past that we can't address in unison because the media divides us along political lines, party lines. They divide you along socioeconomic lines. They divide you among racial lines, among gender lines, among anything in order to make you an enemy of someone else so that they can profit by pushing you this type of fucking narrative. I mean, have you ever noticed in this country that for the last 5 years, Hollywood has been exposed as being one of the biggest pedophile rings in human history? Where so many people have been tied into it in some way. We've seen all these allegations of horrible things going on there, and no one says anything about any of that, right? That's barely in the news. And the only time it's in the news is if they can profit off of it, but they will provide round-the-clock coverage on anything else. Anything that doesn't expose the shit that's going on in this country, that'll get 24, if Kim Kardashian farts funny, it'll be on, Entertainment Weekly or whatever, right? And that'll get mainstream coverage for 3 days. But if there's a problem that can be addressed if people came together, that's never covered. And none of us can pretend like we're immune to it. I mean, at some point, all of us have fallen into that mentality that, yeah, these people are garbage and they want the downfall of our country. They want me to do something bad. We all fall into it because it's hard not to in modern America, but that's like a massive problem that I think we as a country need to address. You need to realize that your neighbor that has different political opinions than you is someone that you're going to have to live with probably for the rest of your life, okay? If people are always going to have different opinions than you, it doesn't mean that they're enemies of you as human beings, and you can agree to disagree with people on things. Don't let these people in control, and I'll say that very carefully, the people in control, don't let them tell you that that isn't possible, okay? Because the truth is most people, we all want the same things. we want everyone to have good lives, right? Here in this country, we want everyone to have a good life. We all want people to have unique identities. We all want people to thrive under their own conditions. We all might have differing opinions on how that happens, but the last thing we need to do is to split apart into these fucking little segments of people and treat everyone else like outsiders and treat everyone else like they're horrible people. It just seems like every day when I get on social media, the only things I ever see now are it's political hate against somebody. It's racial hate against groups of people. There's people being killed in the streets. We're disavowing ourselves as a country when what we really need is some sort of healing. We need to have people coming together and talking out problems instead of killing one another in the fucking streets. We need to have rational discussions about the issues that have happened in the past that we need to address today instead of like social media persecution. It's nuts. And this election isn't going to solve those problems. I mean, I'm sorry to tell you guys that. The truth is, a lot of the reason that the media is like so rampant with this kind of stuff this year is because it's an election year. And they're pushing a lot of this simply because of that. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, here's some fun facts, okay? I think these are going to be interesting, okay? So, in 2005, 1% of all daily newspapers were independently owned newspaper media sources, might I add. 15 years before that, in 1990, 17.3% of daily newspapers were independently owned. So, within 15 years, at the turn of the century, the independent newspapers in this country disappeared almost entirely, down to there were 1%. That was in 2005. Imagine where they're at today. In 2012, 6 corporations owned 90% of all of the mass media in the United States. 6 corporations owned 90% of the media in our country in 2012. It might be bigger now. 30 years before that, 90% of the media was held by 50 different companies. So in 30 years, that 90% margin went from 50 individual companies to 6. That's not a scary trend. That's not startling to you. If I got on here today, right, and I did a video and I was like, North Korea has 6 groups that basically own 90% of the media, you'd be like, holy shit, that's totalitarian. Oh my God, they don't have independent media whatsoever. So why would that be a normal fact in the United States? Why is that something that we as a country accept? 6 groups of people have the ability to control 90% of the media. And they can basically at that point propagate anything that they want. And if you think that their political and social influences are not leaking through that media, then you're fucking nuts. These kinds of problems are what contribute to our perception of our country and our perceptions of one another. These people don't want you to view your neighbor as an ally to better the world. They want you to view everyone around you like a fucking enemy, like someone who wants to destroy you. And the problem is most of you buy into it. So stop. This country will not get better until God knows what. But there's going to be a cataclysmic moment where something happens. And I don't know what that's going to be. These problems cannot be alleviated until something massive happens. A lot of people speculate there might be another civil war. A lot of people speculate that the poor are going to overthrow the rich and that's somehow going to solve all the problems in the country. But I don't know what it's going to be. But there's going to be some moment where people finally have enough of the shit and something bad happens. And it might make the country better, it might make the country worse. It might be the downfall or the re-rise. I have no idea. But all I know is people need to be more aware of this shit, and it's sad that we've gotten to this point, because this country really isn't as bad as we're portraying ourselves to be right now. So please do something. Vote this year. If you're legally able to vote in the United States, please vote this year. I don't care who you vote for. You can vote for whoever you want. I'm not here to preach any political position to you. You can vote for Biden. You can vote for Trump. You can vote third party. I prefer, if you don't want to vote for either, that you probably vote third party, because instead of giving your vote to somebody you don't believe will represent you the best, you'll actually be hopefully voting for someone that you think represents you a little better, and also giving smaller political parties a chance to actually compete in the United States and end the monopolization of our political process by 2 parties. But it also comes down to who you're voting for in legislatures and for local representatives. I mean, the country as a whole, we need to change how we view our political system altogether. We've gotten to this point where even for mayor and people who write local laws and judges. We vote along political party lines, and we're not voting maybe necessarily for the person who could do the job best. And I think that that's a major problem. And I think it's something that we as a country also need to address. So these are my opinions. I don't care if you agree or disagree with them necessarily. I'll probably get shit for this video. I really don't care at the end of the day. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubToOptimus. You can follow me on Storyfire at Optimus. Also, make sure to check out Shop Opti down below. Thank you to my channel members. Your support helps my channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus talking about the problems, I guess, out there, and signing out.